going to be your MC for this panel today. So what we're going to do is we've divided it into two separate sections. First couple of questions are going to be your more frequently asked, the things folks would normally ask at a panel like this. And we're going to let our guests answer them. And then we will be opening up to audience questions. There is a mic right here in the middle. If you have a question, line up in front of the mic when the time comes. Please limit yourself to one question, or limit yourself to one question. One. I know, me too. I get excited. But one question, and make sure you don't ask anything that you wouldn't be comfortable answering in front of a crowd this size, right? But on that note, and with no further ado, please welcome to the stage Power Ranger veterans Catherine Sutherland and Johnny Yong Bosh.
Everybody. You didn't do your flips.
I was waiting for the music cue.
Come on, Johnny. Hi.
Go Power Rangers! Mighty Morphin Power Rangers!
He's amazing. You're so talented.
Extended version.
He's lost some of his abilities, apparently.
I'll be doing that when I'm 70.
Yes.
That exact
Yamacon
routine.
With 70 at this rate.
Yes.
How are y'all enjoying your time here at Yamacon in Pigeon Forge?
It's been so
been
much
good,
fun.
yeah.
I'm getting my Christmas joy in Pigeon Forge.
That's right. Yeah, I like coming here and I like seeing everything decked out for Christmas.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and of course, Johnny, you've been here at Yamacon before,
Yes,
a
I
few
have.
times, every time. And it's always such a pleasure seeing you.
Well, thank you.
What's your favorite thing to come back to when you're here in...
My favorite thing?
Yeah.
Dollywood.
Yeah.
I like going to Dollywood and seeing some shows. There used to be a magic show. We were trying to go see it, but the guy quit, I guess. No.
They have a lot of shows there.
They do have a lot of shows. They're kind of kitschy, but they're fun.
Yeah,
It's kind of
Christmassy.
and holiday.
Yeah.
But although there was when we saw the magician the first year, he was doing all this cool stuff, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And there's a thing where he had like a bucket of water or something, and you could see it, and then it would he would change the colors, and it's like, whoa, how is he doing that, changing the colors? And then you saw like a thumb, like a rubber thumb, hit the ground, and we were like,
Huh?
wait a second. And then he's still doing his thing, and then the whole audience saw it. It's like, wait, there's like a thumb on the ground, and then you see him kind of go. Try to Yeah, it was the best part of the show.
2 thumbs down performance.
Right. Hey.
Very good.
How about you? Anything you've been able to take part in Pigeon Forge,
Yes.
aside from Yamacon, of course?
We went to Hatfield and McCoy.
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
I have to say, though, I was a little underwhelmed by the divers. They have these people that come on and they were like, and they're divers, and you're like all excited, like, ooh, and the stage opens and it's like water, and you're expecting like flips and stuff, and they were just doing cannonballs or peace sign, and I was like, I could do that. What's the big deal?
I feel because I had gone there like a few years ago. We had been there before, and they did flips and stuff. Yeah, I think this was like the B team.
Everyone went
you
home
caught
for
the
the
matinee.
holidays.
It was like cannonball. I was like,
like,
wow,
oh,
okay,
yay.
nice.
But we did that, and then we went to Dollywood last night, and just the Christmas joy was just too much to bear.
It's a great
amazing.
place. It's a great place
Yeah.
for it. Would you like to tell us, introduce yourself formally, and let us know about your time on one of the most popular action shows ever?
I'm Catherine Sutherland. I played Kat on Mighty Morphin, Zeo, and Turbo, and the Turbo movie, and Once and Always. And yes, 30 years. It's hard to believe. And I joined the cast in 1995. So I joined when the movie was being released. So I didn't realize what I was stepping into at all. I had just thought I was joining a kids show, and I was excited to have a job, and then I realized, oh, this is on another level. They were like rock stars. It was crazy. And it's been such a gift to be part of this franchise all these years. I'm very grateful. We have an amazing fandom.
Surely, yeah. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, so I played Adam. Was a Black Ranger, eventually Green Ranger a couple times. I started in '94, and then I did Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo. I came back for In Space and Overdrive, and 2 movies, and and the 30th anniversary special. Once and always. So a few things. Yeah, it's fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It definitely was fun. The 30th, did you guys watch the special? Wasn't she amazing in it?
Aw, Johnny.
It was so cool to see you in like, it was like a, I don't know, it's like you were like a
mature version.
Just like you could just feel the motherliness of that, and it was really cool to see.
I liked that they explored some of the stuff that we've seen in the comics. I thought
Yeah,
that was really cool to see them bring that to life for the fans. It was really cool because the script did change quite a bit over the course of the few months that we were talking, but and it was awesome wasn't it great to have them back, Aisha and Adam? But
now,
they
come
should
on
have
now.
been in it way more.
Come on now. I saw this. Yeah, I was not really there.
He should have been in it way more.
I did ask. I constantly emailed them and asked if I could like do a fight,
It was
whatever.
kind of silly because they brought them all the way to New Zealand and they had the opportunity to use them so much more, and it was just like kind of But it was a cool storyline.
It was fun. Yeah. I mean, it would have been better though if we would have made it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it was like we were in space and we're like, we're on our way. We might not make it.
What about all this technology?
We didn't make it.
They had all this amazing technology and they still didn't get there.
We didn't. Yeah.
But we had fun when we were in New Zealand. We went to Audition.
It was definitely fun,
We had lots of adventures.
We did.
And I was the only one that drove because in New Zealand we drive on the other side of the road. So
Yeah.
I was the trusted driver.
You'd think in an entire movie they could make space for at least one frog joke.
Right.
Something.
One, something.
Yeah.
But you, of course, 95 and 94. What was the audition process like to be in Power Ranger?
Well, let's see. It was it was an open cattle call, so it was in the papers, and it was a nationwide thing. I was in Texas though, as well as Steve and Karen, who also became Power Rangers. But we were in Texas, and there's like 1,000 people there, or more. Then they would just bring you in at first it was like they did like a looks thing, they'd bring you in 20 at a time. They said you can stay, the rest of you go home, they kind of like to bring the numbers down. And then they then in the newspaper it said you had to be a martial artist, a dancer, or a gymnast. And I was a martial artist, but I was also an acrobat, and so then it was like, show us what you can do. And so I did martial arts and I flipped a little bit. And then they gave us like a monologue, like a little bit of something to read, and did that. But I mean, there's some time in between that actually. So because I got that monologue thing, and then it was like gonna be a couple hours. Like they gave me, and so I went home. Like I had like sweatpants on so I can kick and flip. And then I went home and I put on jeans because I thought I was just gonna read a thing. And they're like tight jeans, and so I couldn't really kick too high. And then when I came back in to read the thing, I read the monologue, and they're like, "Hey, can you show us the flip it, kick stuff again?" And I was like, "Oh, whoa," right?
I can, but
and
only once.
I swear, my kicks were like maybe this high. I was like, it didn't feel right at all. But there's like one lady there, and there's a bunch of guys that looked angry. And there's one lady who was like, she's very friendly and was smiling. So I would just do the same stuff, and I like barely made my flips. And I would look at her and smile, and then I just smile at her. And then like a week or two later, they said, "Hey, we want you to audition again in California." And then there's another, they were mixing and matching us, and and I got the part. Was very fortunate.
Fantastic.
You guys didn't go back, right? After that?
No, I stayed after I got the part. I was like, I guess
them,
I live here now.
Isn't that crazy? And they had their stuff shipped to them.
Yeah.
So they never went home.
Never went home. And I didn't have a whole lot of stuff. You know, I like just came out of like high school. I did have a car. It was supposed to be me and my sister's car, but then it was like, I get the car. So I got a car, and then I had like, a suitcase full of clothes, and then nunchucks.
Very important to have nunchucks.
And then, we had this apartment, but I had like no bed. I had nothing, and I would sleep in my clothes. Like I would just cover myself in my clothes.
Oh my gosh. And Karen said she actually was like, didn't she have like?
Well, there was like, because we didn't get paid in the beginning, because we had to use the money to pay for the apartment, and so it was like I had no money for like a couple weeks, and so I never had lived away from my parents, and so I never like grocery shopped anything. And I didn't have any money, and so I was literally sleeping in a pile of clothes, and with the nunchucks next to me, and and like for a couple days over the weekend when we weren't working, I didn't eat, and I was like starving, and I was like, I felt like I was dying, and then Karen had like happened to call
Probably
or whatever.
had to pig out on set.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, I haven't eaten in a couple days. I'm like, and she's like, what? She's like, come over and make a sandwich.
What's wrong with you?
And so yeah,
Do you at least have your emotional support nunchucks?
Huh? I still have those.
Okay.
Yeah, I do still have those. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Catherine, how was your tryout?
So I auditioned in Australia. They were filming the movie. Did I audition while you were filming the movie? I don't remember. Like I joined in
I remember
June.
meeting you there.
No, I never
It
met
was-
you.
I
No,
thought we went
there
to
was
go
a
to-
girl, No, there was a girl that they used to fill in the, like,
No,
make
we
it
went
look
to-
like it was me.
Wait, are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought we went to dinner.
No, I never
Are you
met you
sure?
in Australia.
Oh.
She looked
For
a
real?
lot
For
like her.
real, 100%. I didn't meet you till I moved to America.
Okay, because Shuki took us somewhere, and there was a girl that looked like you.
Well, it wasn't me.
A lot like you.
There we go.
Oh, maybe that
I
was,
met- we did go
maybe
to
that
dinner
was
in
Shuki's
LA.
little,
Well, we did go to dinner in
Really?
LA, though, when
Huh.
I joined the cast. But
I coulda swore I
they
met
were
you there.
I just
Okay.
don't remember the timeline, if they were still filming the movie or if it was after the movie. But anyway, when Amy Jo decided she wanted to leave, they wanted someone really different from her, and they did a big casting call, and then Shuki was like, let's look at someone from another country or whatever. Let's look at Australia. So they cast, and I did the first audition was a monologue. The second one was a martial arts routine and a monologue, which let's hope that never surfaces. And I'm not a martial artist. I'm a dancer, so it was like basically doing a lot of spins and kicks and making it look like I knew what I was doing. And then my third callback was with Shuki, who was one of the producers, and I just had this moment of like, I've got this part. I just felt it. And as I was leaving the room, I said, I hope you make the right decision. And I was like, I know. And I got outside and I was like, who am I right now? I would never say something like that. I just got this moment of confidence. And anyway, 3 weeks later, he and the casting director called me and said, how do you feel about moving to Hollywood? And it was all like this very fast process of getting me visas and just, it was crazy. I just remember flying over on the plane and going, oh my gosh, my life is completely about to change. So I moved, I was 20 years old, moving to America with no family or anything, and they weren't even around for 2 weeks that I was there, so I was very alone for the first 2 weeks. It was really hard.
I do remember seeing you.
Yeah.
By the trailers.
Yes.
When we first showed
on the
up.
first day, yeah. And they were all so wonderful and accepting, and we became a family. Johnny, Nakia, and I used to sit all the time and hang out and talk about God. It was a really cool experience.
That brings me to my next question. Can you share with us some of your favorite behind-the-scenes memories?
One of the ones I've really been thinking about recently was when we were filming Turbo. Johnny and Jason were really into filmmaking, and they had a Super 8 camera. Yeah. And Johnny came up with this idea that we were going to film a horror movie Because we were on when we were filming the boat scene. You know, we were in these old docks, and it was kind of creepy, and so they were like, you know, you can't run and look scared, and then Johnny would be chasing me. Do you still have that footage? I mean, it's got to be somewhere.
I gave it to Jason, actually.
Did you?
At some
I bet
point.
Tammy
I
has it.
might still have it, but I think I gave a lot of that to Jason. Because
Yeah.
Jason was the bad guy.
He was always.
And he was the one who was like,
the bad guy.
he was like chasing her.
Yeah, he was like trying to kill
Yeah.
me, and I was screaming, and I was probably really scared. Yeah, so we were always doing funny stuff like that behind the scenes with each other just to keep the time going. And just, you know, in between filming, we would hang out and chat, and it was cool. Annoy each other, love each other.
Like family.
Yeah, like family.
Johnny,
Yeah.
how about you?
Behind the scenes, there's a lot. I know, there's like so many. But then I'm like filtering through which ones are appropriate. Like there's got kids here, so. I mean, there were a lot of good memories. I just enjoyed working on the show. It was fun. Here's it's just a whatever memory, but there was, so you guys know what extras are, right? They're all the background players. So there's like a school, I think it was the school, you know, because like we were in this like school, and so there's like a bunch of like, you know, fake students, or it's like somewhere else. Maybe it wasn't. But anyways, there was like a cork board, right? And this was in between takes, and so it had those little, what are those things?
Push pins?
Push pins, yeah, push pin, right? We're all in there. And so I'm like just waiting for them to set up stuff, and all the extras are like just hanging out in this area. And I walked over, I was like messing with the cork board, and like you can't really play around, like, because it's like, you know, you don't mess with it really. But I was like, you know, I pulled one of those push pins out, right? And then I was like making a smiley face or whatnot, and then I put it back to where it was, and then they were calling us back. But I had one in my hand as I was walking away, and then I was just like, did that, and it stuck. And all the extras were like, like they were like shocked, you know? And I was shocked too, but I didn't show it. I was like, boom, like that, and it stuck, and I was like, you know, I just walked away like I meant to do it. And they were like, and I could hear them be like, did you see that?
He's the real deal.
That's why he's a Power Ranger and we're extras.
Yeah.
Johnny's
Exactly.
actually very humble, but he is an incredible martial artist. Like, Nakia and I used to be sitting on set just like this, like in between takes, he'd be doing all these flips and like just crazy stuff. And the stunt guys loved him because he was like a real martial artist. So it was really fun to watch him play around. But he's very humble about it.
How surreal was it to return for the Netflix special this year, Once and Always?
It was very nostalgic because the first time Steve and I walked into the juice bar, I almost cried because it was so much like the real one. It was crazy. And then seeing like the Moon Palace, and yeah, I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, the fans are going to freak out when they see this because they really put a lot of attention to detail and tried to make it as authentic as they could. And even with David Yost was like relentless about it being exact. Like you had to morph exactly like we did. And I was like, geez, taking it so seriously. He's like, no, this is what they want. Like he really wanted it to be done properly. Yeah, they'll know if it's not right. And I remember saying to him, like, you do realize I never said pterodactyl, right? And he goes, oh my gosh, you didn't. I said, how are they going to explain that? And so that's how that whole storyline came about with the pink, what did they say? It was like proxy coins, yeah. So, yeah, there was just a lot of attention to detail, and I really appreciated that. It was fun. And I'm happy that they actually brought us back with a story, because, you know, in past episodes, other than Johnny's one when you came back what was the one you came back on with?
Overdrive? Space.
Yeah, they gave you, like, your character a story. But for the other reunion
Space,
episodes, a lot of it was just cameos, you know, we were just showing up. So it was nice to come back and actually have a story.
Yeah.
I love that. Johnny, how about you? Coming back to
For the
set
special?
after so long, yeah.
It was awesome. I, of course, wanted to do more, but the juice bar was really, I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to go be
too.
like
I didn't
in
get
a
to go in
scene
there.
or something, and you know, because it looked amazing. It was, and it took me back.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was, you know, 18 again, like,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh, and then like a flood of memories of like, I remember this there, I remember, and then like certain scenes and stuff were like playing in my head that, you know, and stuff that was behind the scenes or whatnot in that set, because it looked like the
So much
original
like it.
set.
And we spent so much time in that.
Yeah,
area.
a lot
Yeah.
of time there,
Yeah. And the command center was very different. But
It was different, but it was cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish they'd used, why didn't they use the viewing globe?
I don't get that.
That was bizarre.
I don't
like we
know.
looked on the, I'm like, you have the viewing globe in there, but we never used it.
Yeah, no idea.
It was kind of weird. But I was like, maybe Aisha and Adam will be in the viewing globe. No, just on the
Nope.
on the thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Would have made it in time.
Yeah. Maybe you would have made it on time.
Exactly.
So you were both in Power Rangers Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
If you could switch vehicles with any other Ranger.
Race car.
You want the red one. Lightning, what was he? Red Lightning.
Yeah. I don't want a green like minivan. Come on.
It's kind of lame.
You're gonna give me a frog and then you're gonna give me a minivan after that?
What is that?
I don't know.
Well, you
Stars.
could have carried a lot of people in your
I could have carried a lot of
Yeah.
people. Like we didn't need to all have our own cars.
Right, exactly.
It's like,
Adam
you guys
could
want to
have-
ride with me?
Yeah.
Oh, Adam's
Kind of, this is a big car for just one person.
Exactly.
Oh, Adam's the only one that brought his coin.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get to the juice bar?
I wanted the van. There we
Yeah, that
go.
would have been
I would have
fine.
traded for the van.
Yeah,
Traded for the van?
Yeah.
a pink van.
You want a pink and white car? My car was a racing
Yours,
car.
yeah, yours was pretty
Wind
cool.
Chaser.
Everyone had a cool one,
Yeah.
except for me.
You know, Justin really should have got the minivan.
Yeah, man, he had a monster truck. Like,
he
what
had
was
a
that?
cool truck. Yeah, that's not right. That he's new and he got.
No.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
Should be some type of seniority when it
Yeah,
comes to.
exactly.
Should be.
And you got the crutch.
I'm always the crotch of the Megazord.
Well,
I know that because that's where I always have to sign.
yeah. I didn't put it together until yesterday, and I was like, what? What's he doing here?
That's where I am.
So, on top, branching off that, speaking of strange and obscure, do you have a personal favorite villain? Because we have had some very, very odd antagonists over the course of the show. Do you have a favorite
The monsters
villain
are
that
crazy.
is one of the, of course not Rita, Zed, etc.
So you mean the sub-villains?
Yes.
The ones
Yes, your one-offs.
Do putties count?
The putties.
underneath? Oh. Use your big boy voice.
happens.
We got volume on red.
Volume on red.
Check. There we go. Yeah, I like the putties. Or Goldar. Goldar's cool.
I liked Goldar.
Yeah.
I liked Rito.
Rito, yeah.
Rito, Rita's brother. I liked Numbor. Remember the one with the big hook nose? I thought he was bizarre. Yeah. Yeah, he was kind of weird looking. And I liked the one where Tommy had it was Rita's Peter. I don't remember what the monster was called, but he was just a big mouth with a big tongue, and he talked like he was from Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, really?
What was he called, that one? Rita's Peter. Someone look it
I
up.
don't know.
He was cool. I liked him.
We got somebody
There was so
on
many.
Power Rangers Wiki in the audience, I'm sure.
Trying to look it up. They'll
He's
get
just
back
a big
to
mouth
us.
with a tongue, and he talked like the plant from Little Shop of
Feed
Horrors.
me, Seymour.
Miss Seymour. Yeah.
What?
What's that? Ravinator. That's it. Yeah,
Ravinator.
Ravinator. I liked him.
Ravinator versus the putties. Who would win in that fight, though?
Putty's always.
They
lost
always
their-
lost.
they were
Yeah, you just
losers.
hit their chest and they fall
Fall
apart.
apart. Yeah.
All right, we are going to take this time to open the mic to audience questions. Again, please keep your questions to one per person. If you have a question you'd like to ask, please make a line up here in the center. It's haunted back there.
Yeah, I heard that. Hi.
As both of you replaced members of the original 5 Rangers, were you ever nervous about maybe fans not being receptacle to that? Obviously, it didn't happen because we all love you, but were you nervous about it?
It was, this was all really before, felt like early internet. So, like, it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, there was no social media. So, yeah, it wasn't something I thought about. But I did come across it a couple times, in forums or something like that, I didn't really think about it, to be honest. It wasn't until much later.
I did, because obviously I actually didn't know I was replacing anybody when I was cast.
I didn't either, actually.
Yeah, we thought we were being added to the cast. So when I realized I was replacing Amy, and then I saw the movie and how like she was such an important part of the show and such a popular character, I definitely felt like, ooh, this is a lot of pressure, And they did say in my contract if I wasn't accepted that goodbye, I'd be sent back.
Did they?
Back to the convict land. Yeah, they did.
That was
they
in
had
your,
it in there
really?
It was. I had to be. Yeah.
I didn't even read my contract.
Yes, exactly.
That's how I got screwed. It was it was so thick. And it was like, Saban put it down, and it was heavy, and it was on the table, I could hear it, echo. It was like, boom, and he's like, you are going to make me millions. Millions. And you're going to make some money. Are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, where do I sign? His lawyers are looking at me like some dumb kid, yeah, right here, kid. Right there. 5 years, we own you and your face for eternity.
Eternity, yes.
Yeah.
No, and I actually, because we were young, we were they get you when you're very young. My agent was saying, I'm not sending you over with this contract, because in my contract it was the same as their contract, but I'm moving from a whole nother country. And she said, I'm not sending you with this. And I was like, don't lose me the job. But she amended some things and it worked out. But, when you're in the beginning of your career, you just want the opportunity. You're not thinking of the future and all of those things, So, yeah.
Excellent question. Thank you. Next.
Yes, so I was just curious, when you guys were originally filming back then, did they ever tell you, or did you know that there was a Japanese show that this was all based off of, and did you ever go back and see your counterpart of it and how it compared?
I did know, because the footage was very obvious that Japanese. The Japanese footage looked very different from the American footage. So I did know that, but I hadn't watched any of the Sentai footage. You did, right?
I did once, yeah. So I was aware, but there's only, when was it? Zeo. I think it was during Zeo when, it was so, to me, everything felt super cheesy, because it was a kid's show, which is appropriate. And so I thought it was just super easy to write. And so I went upstairs where the writers were, and I was like, well, I want to try to write an episode. And then they were like, all right. So they brought out this box of tapes. I think they were VHS or something, right? And they said, well, put one of these in, and basically the idea is you want to be able to use as much footage as you can, from the show. So basically you have to start writing a story, but be able to pull whatever footage. And so I popped one in, and I started watching it, and the monster was like a faucet monster, And he's in this warehouse, and the Rangers go over there, and the faucet monster turns around, he's like, turns this thing, and he just starts spraying the Rangers, and they're like, it's water. And then, it kept cutting back to the monster, and spraying the water on them. And then they're like, and then the water started changing a brownish, yellowish color. And I was like, what? And then it cut back to the monster, and he had another faucet down lower. He had unzipped it, and he was peeing on the Rangers. And I was like, what?
This is not right.
I was like, wait, is this a kid's show? And I didn't understand what was going on here. And I was like, how do you write that out? It was and I just, at that point, I kept watching it. Because I was like, what's going to be next? Is he going to poop on him?
Oh.
But But I just kept watching, and then it was just like, then I just gave up because I was like, I don't know, never mind, I don't know how to do this.
So it was much more adult.
It was definitely more adult,
Yeah.
you know, the episode I watched.
Yeah.
Just in that much. It was like, you know, I think, and then they have had death. I think the original Green Ranger, like his parents became monsters, and he had to like destroy them, you know, and so and then he committed seppuku or whatever, right? So it was like you can't do that.
No.
But
Brutal.
yeah, so yeah, it was much
Yeah.
more adult, I think.
Have you ever met your counterpart from? I've met May, who was the zoo ranger. I've met her.
Zoo Ranger, yeah,
Yeah, you have.
not from any other seasons.
No, just
yeah.
zoo ranger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I hear the Red Ranger from the Zoo Ranger
Yeah.
is missing right now.
What?
Yeah, like
Oh my God.
now this is a rumor that his mom is like part of this weird cult, and he was like part of it possibly as well, but he's been missing.
Oh gosh.
Now you didn't hear that from me, you guys.
I think you've screwed yourself there, Johnny.
Yeah, no, that's what I've
awful.
heard. Yeah, it's like someone who's Japanese was telling me.
We
You guys
met
know.
him.
Yeah, we did
was
meet.
with
He was
us
he was
last
very
week.
nice.
So sweet.
He was very nice, but yeah, like nobody's heard from him or
no.
of him for a while now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's kind of scary,
Way
actually.
to take it to a dark place.
I know. Look, there you go. You bring
there's
up
your
the old
answer, Ben.
Sentai show.
You had to bring up Sentai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Just based off of the magnitude of you guys, how was it working with the younger, more newbies in the series for the 30th special on Netflix?
Oh, yeah. Charlie, who played Min, is amazing.
She's awesome.
She is so professional. She's only 16 years old. She was when we filmed. She just turned 17. But she was so professional, and she's incredibly talented. Amazing martial artist. She can sing. She's a dancer. She's an actress. She was the real deal. And she was so excited to have the opportunity. So she was fantastic. And then I did get to work with the Ninja Steel Rangers. And that was like watching us, you know, they were just being silly and goofing around with each other and everything. It was like remembering what it was like when we were on the show, being silly and young.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely, you know, we come in there like we've been through the ringer.
Yeah.
You know, we've worked with a lot of different people,
Yes.
good and bad, you know, so we've experienced a lot. And to kind of see the young blood in there, and they're happy,
So
they're
happy.
excited for the
Yes.
future, and we're not going to crush that. You know,
No.
it's like you be excited, you have fun, you know,
Yeah.
and so it was cool. It was pretty cool to see somebody so happy to be there and excited. Yeah, you kind of it kind of lit your day up a little bit. You know?
It was a different experience because it was a much more professional production.
They were really nice. It was like
Yeah.
it was definitely that. I mean, it was a big change.
Big change.
Big change from what we
had
worked on.
assistants. Like that was. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my gosh, I have an assistant. Like that didn't happen on the show. Like there was times where we were sharing trailers. The boys and the girls were sharing trailers. I changed in a car with Jason, Frank, and I had to hold towels up for each other to change because they didn't want to rent trailers for us. Like it was a much lower budget when we were on the show. So to come onto this series and they just treated us with respect and
Everyone did. Like
Yeah.
all across the
Across
board,
the board.
everyone was cool
Yeah,
and very
it was
kind.
really, really cool.
Yeah, usually there's like a couple people that are like, this person is just always angry, you
No,
know,
they
whatever.
were so
but
nice.
they're set, and everyone there was
Yeah.
from top to bottom was really really cool.
Yeah, it was really well done. So, yeah.
That
Thank
was a
you.
great question.
you.
Thank you.
I got to thank Johnny this weekend for making my childhood suck a little less, but I'm also going to thank you. Without the Power Rangers, my childhood would have sucked a little bit. So, and I have a question. What did you get to keep from the shows?
We get asked that a lot.
I don't know about get to. What did you keep from the show?
You're going to be disappointed when I tell you this is the truth. I have a pink beret. I wore these pink barrettes all the time. I have my pink barrette, I have my mold of my power coin, and I have my communicator. That's all I took from the show, and a lot of photographs and things like that. I have some toys from back in the day, but a lot of the stuff that I have is actually from fans. Like, I have replica helmets and suits and things because of the fans. Like, they're so generous and kind, and so I have boxes of stuff from you guys. And then Jason Frank did steal my turbo suit. He said, when he was over there, he says to me, he texts me one day and says, oh, I've got a birthday present for you. He didn't know when my birthday was, but he had a birthday present for me. And I said, oh gosh, what did you do? And then he sends me a picture of him in my turbo suit.
Wait, was the present the turbo suit or the picture of him in the turbo suit?
The picture was horrific, yes, but I do have the turbo suit. It was kind of funny. So anyway, I do have my turbo suit, but it was funny when we went for Ninja Steel, they had everything on lockdown because they know what he's like. Yeah, he'll just take stuff, steals everything.
Yeah, I asked if I could keep stuff from that, and they were like, no. I have my communicator. I have my frog medallion that was in the chest. I had the boots and the belt and some other things, but I gave those away a long time ago.
You guys keep that?
They were like in my bag.
I don't know how it happened.
I took them off, and when I got
ended
to
up.
the apartment, that's where they were in my
Yeah.
bag. But
Yeah, it just happened.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, with the medallion, that thing, because from the movie, that one, the frog one, right? That it kept falling out of my chest piece. They would always have to like double stick tape it or something. It just kept popping off. There's a few years ago, I don't know if it's still there, but in Florida, there's a Planet Hollywood, and they had like the Black Ranger in a whatever case without the frog thing, because I have it.
They only had one?
I mean, that's the one that they sent to Planet Hollywood was the one without it.
That's funny. You were like,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Great
I just
question.
show up wearing it. We go to the Planet Hollywood. Hey guys, how you doing?
Like a big tie pin.
Yeah.
Yes, what's your question?
How do you think the Power Rangers would do if all 5 Zords were the Pterodactyl?
If all what?
All 5 Zords were the Pterodactyl. Like, you're all just saying the same animal over and over.
Oh, if they're all pterodactyl,
Yeah.
we probably have to shout our color,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Johnny's
Yeah.
still
No,
probably
you
the
have
god.
to say the name. You have
What?
to say the name of the animal. So, like, you have to hear Pterodactyl 5
Oh,
times.
you're making rules now.
There's
So
a rule. I'm asking the question.
We
I gotta
have
make
no
a rule.
choice but to shout pterodactyl?
Yeah. Do you think the show would do better or worse numbers?
It would be worse.
You need variety. You need variety.
Pterodactyl! 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 Pterodactyl!
Oh, God.
It would not work. It wouldn't work.
Like an
Yeah.
episode of Digimon.
Huh?
Episode of Digimon where they just yell the thing and then they transform and then they yell the next one and they transform and you're like, okay, if you're going all the way up and there's 8 of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you need the variety. That's what makes it exciting. They all bring different things.
Yeah. So we would have to say, we'd have to do a color. You got to give us a color or a number, which they kind of did in the others.
Black power.
Right.
Black pterodactyl power. I don't know.
Black pterodactyl. Nah.
No, it just doesn't work.
Pterodactyl 2. No. Maybe we would have like
That's
a
just the
different. You know what? Maybe we'd have like a different power though. So it'd be like pterodactyl fire dactyl.
Fire dactyl.
We're back at Digimon again.
Hey, we're just making up this is just a fake world anyways, right? Where we all say pterodactyl, so.
What do you think?
What do we
think?
combine to become?
Wake up, Yamacon. New
A giant
powers to
pterodactyl.
Do you
Just
think it's
just the left wing.
What? What?
You combine just to make the left wing of a pterodactyl.
Okay.
It's his vision.
It's very low budget.
It's a low budget world there, huh?
I've got $20.
It's all we're all the
Instead
same
of sharing
color.
a trailer, you're sharing a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
So you could say left wing, pterodactyl.
Oh, right wing, pterodactyl. Crotch,
Crotch, pterodactyl.
pterodactyl.
And then you have a faucet and it pees on the. Oh, God.
Thank you so much. Let's have one more question.
All right, so I was wondering with the rising popularity of the comics, I know Johnny has a story, but I was wondering if you might have any idea of where you would take Kat if you were to write anything for the comic books.
Well, I really liked what Melissa Flores did in the 30th comic book. I think that it was really cool to see her explore how Tommy and Kat got back together and JJ and all of that. I would like to see them have JJ become a ranger and then Kat being a mentor, just seeing like the younger generation and how we kind of fit into mentoring them and guiding them. I would like to see that. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. What do you think? What would you like to see?
I'd just really like to see the story continue.
Yeah.
I've heard Johnny talk about he's got like a little vigilante Adams story tucked in
Yeah.
the back there. I'm kind of
Yeah,
hoping you hook
I'll
up
probably
with
shoot
Kyle.
it or put it. Like I'm planning on
that
doing
would
like
be
a
cool.
little
Tell us
manga,
about that. Yeah.
and I'm gonna throw it in there. You know, so
The whole SPA, I really liked that they brought that in. I would like to see them do more with that.
yeah,
Like,
that'd be
I
cool.
would love
Yeah.
to see more of
Yeah.
the SPA. I was hoping
Yeah.
for so much more in the special.
yeah.
I know, right?
Well, they left this. When they finished the special, they left it open to definitely having another one. But we'll have to see. I'm really curious if they're going to continue or they're going to make it an.
I heard they
animated
weren't.
series- Animated series, maybe, and do more of what the comics did.
They
I don't
might do an animated thing, but I think they're
They're done.
gonna give it a couple of years and try to do a whole new reboot.
New
or something,
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's time for that. I think that's what you guys would like. Have it be a different version.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
question.
Sort of. I mean, you guys would probably want to see. You just want to see more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
of course you want to see what happens to our characters later. When
Power
Yeah.
Rangers
It's
multiverse.
fun, right?
Multiverse.
Oh, there's too much of that.
You sick of that?
Yeah. Well, then there's got to be one that's all pterodactyls.
It's got to be one. Has to be one.
Yes.
Hello, first off, big fan. It's no secret that Power Rangers has been through a few different hands. Who was more fun to work with, Saban, Disney, or Hasbro?
Fun.
Providing that doesn't violate any kind of NDA or anything.
I don't want y'all spilling tea. I'm trying to be good.
I guess I thought all of it was fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun to be a superhero and to be part of the franchise and to be working and everything. I think that Hasbro treated us a lot better.
Yeah.
In terms of what they, I felt very respected and appreciated on set. Whereas with Saban, it was, I'm very grateful to them for the job and the opportunity and everything, but it was a very different environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree. I had a great time throughout, but I definitely with Saban, and again, yeah, like I still had a great time. It did feel like we had overlords or something, It's like this was like a somewhat tyrannical.
You were always a little bit like
a little
my
afraid.
job safe.
Yeah. There's always like I don't know if I'm going to be able to, if they're going to keep me or if they're going to get rid of me. And there's never, any reassurance that we're of our job or security. There's none of that. So that felt like it was always threatened. With Disney, I mean, again, it was fun. I was working with people I liked, but that was also it was in New Zealand, and so for me, it was like just a couple episodes. But it almost felt like mysterious. Like I didn't know who was. Other than Koichi running the set, I didn't know. It was just all new people, and so I never really saw any of the people up top from Disney or whatnot. And then, Hasbro was different, though. Hasbro did feel like they were just kind of like, do you need anything?
Well, the executives, it was much more of a family, I felt.
Yeah.
Like the executives and the crew, everybody was very unified in making it work.
Yeah.
Like they really appreciated everybody's role. And they had an area where the production officers, everybody was welcome to come. Like they had a communal kitchen where everybody could just hang out, and so it was very, it felt very much like a family. But it was a very different feel for me. Trailers, with like a trailer, just a trailer.
Yeah, a trailer.
alone.
Wow, that's
Wow.
impressive.
It's amazing. You get a trailer when you're an actor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Yes, what's your question?
Okay, a little short for this. Sorry about that.
You can tip it down towards you. There you go.
There we go.
There
Sorry
you
about
go.
that. Johnny, what was it like working on in space? Weren't there for very long, but
In space?
Was it particularly different? Did it have a strange feeling? I know sometimes the fans say that that's the series that saved Power Rangers.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
What's that?
A lot of people say that's the series that saved Power Rangers.
Space?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've heard that. I'm trying to think. Hang on. There's a couple things about space. All right. So Koichi had asked me to come back, and I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool to come back and do stuff. But the problem I had was that my ex was on the show. And so I was like, I got to work with my ex. And so that was awkward. But then Koichi assured me that I wouldn't have a whole lot of scenes with her. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so I came and played, and it was fun. And I did like, Koichi came up with a really kind of cool story for my character, you know. And I really liked the idea, even though it wasn't like, it was just like, you know, one thing, one shot, or where he opens up his backpack and he pulls out his busted morpher. And that, to me, I was like, it said a lot about who he was. And I was like, that's really interesting, because he still carries around his morpher. So that means he still wanted to be a ranger, but he wasn't anymore. And then in that episode, he tries to use it, you know, and almost dies or whatever. I actually asked if I could die in that episode. I was like, can I like, you know, whatever, save the day and just die, you know? And then Koichi was like, no, we're not gonna kill Adam. What are you? And I was like, all right. And then it just kind of ended kind of weird too, but also because that's when my ex was there in the scene at the same time. And it was like, because like I say, I helped the other Black Ranger, right? And I was there, I was part of it. I nearly sacrificed myself, you know, even though he came through and was able to do things. And then I'm there at the end of the scene. They're all there together, and they start like lifting him up, like, yeah, Black Ranger. And I'm just like, I almost died, guys.
Yeah,
you know? But that was the end. So it was a strange ending for me. Yeah. But I did have a good time. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I liked that. I liked that bit of character, you know, whatever spice that they added, that Koichi added to it. It was super cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, yeah.
Yes, what's your question?
Hi. I just wanted to thank you both for being here, and I hope you had a good weekend with us. First of all.
Yeah.
Secondly, I was wondering if you guys could pick any other color Power Ranger, what would it be to be?
There's a couple of suits that I really loved. I loved the gold Zeo Ranger. I loved his suit, and I loved the White Ranger suit. But my favorite of the whole franchise, my favorite costumes is Mystic Force.
I love those.
I love those suits. Have you seen those? They're the ones with the capes.
Oh,
and they
yeah,
had
yeah.
like magic, and then the Pink Ranger had a butterfly on her mask. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was the most beautiful suits of the whole franchise, I think.
I like the Die Ranger stuff. Like, we never got that. You know, I wanted to have the green Die Ranger. It's like the White Ranger.
Oh, the whole
It's that the whole
season.
season.
Yeah,
like,
why didn't
those
they do
would have
that?
been better. Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
I don't know why they didn't do
They
that.
could have gone to
It's like
that
they
from
just took the
Zeo.
White Ranger out.
Yeah.
They should have put that one in there, because
Yeah.
they were so much cooler.
Beautiful. Yeah.
The suits were really cool. The helmets were really cool.
Because Zeo was a great season, but the suits the helmets were kind of boring. The
They were
suits
okay.
Were
It's
pretty,
like
but
I was a rectangle.
I was an oval, a fishbowl.
You know, it's like it felt like they were running out of ideas.
Did you know, like, I didn't know this until the fans told me, that our shape represented our number.
Yeah.
Because you can count the.
So I
She was
was
Zeo
one,
Ranger 1,
she
yeah.
was 2, you were the triangle 3.
No,
I did-
4. I was
Oh, you were 4.
rectangle.
Okay. Steve was the triangle, you were
Yeah.
the rectangle, and then he was the star.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that for all these years.
I kind of feel like that made sense.
Wow. I'm glad you got it.
The Gold Ranger had what?
6.
He had 6.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So there
okay.
you go.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting.
complicated that I didn't know what we. That
I did ask them for the 30th anniversary because I knew we were doing like the SPA thing. I asked if I could have like some red on,
Oh, yeah.
and then I asked if Karen could have pink on.
That'd be cool.
And they ignored
and they
me.
ignored you.
That was the point where they stopped responding to my emails. Well, I was trying to figure out like who my character was, you know?
He was really like. I mean, he really wanted to like bring more to it, and it was really.
I was
cool.
I took it serious.
Yeah,
like
you
I was
did.
thinking about my character and who, like, okay, where is he in this place? You know, because I know there's an older version of me in the comic, and so I'm like, all right, well, where am I in this? You know, and so I had all these questions, and then they said, well, you're SPA, and I was like, well, is that attached to SPD? And you know, I was like, so I had so many questions, but at some point it seemed like they were tired of like they answered like 2. And then it was
They
like,
didn't think that deeply about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I wanted to make an adjustment here or there. I wanted to do a fight. And they're like, no.
It's a wasted opportunity that they didn't let you fight.
Kind of a bummer.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
You know, when my brother and I were young, we used to have a Jello mold from the movie, the with Ivan Ooze.
Yeah?
And we would have to take turns at the grocery store picking what flavor Jello we were getting because we were only going to get that Ranger in the Jello mold.
Oh, they were the molds then.
It was Jello, yes.
But it was Ivan Ooze?
There was an Ivan Ooze, and then there were 2 Rangers, and I think another villain or something. But you put the Jello in it, and then you turn it out, and you've got the shape.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, I want blackberry Jello. Well, I want strawberry Jello. And
Did you do grape for Ivan Ooze?
no, I always picked the blackberry Jello. You were my favorite.
Aw, shout out to Adam.
My brother.
We got 5 minutes, folks.
That's so funny.
You're supposed to
brother
do that in the back of the room.
She's like,
What are you doing?
My brother always picked the Pink Ranger. Folks asked him once, like, why do you have a Pink Ranger doll? And he goes, because she's pretty.
Duh.
Yes. One more question. Well, we got 2.
Two
Let's
more.
make them quick,
You
though.
too, yeah.
All right. So I was just wondering, maybe you guys could talk about some of the stuff you're doing now, like maybe your music or your podcast.
Yeah, sure. Well, I still do a lot of voiceover. I got a lot of anime stuff, a lot of video games. I can't talk about a lot of them. I know a few of them are going to probably be released next year or announced next year, so got that to look forward to. I've got a couple films. I shot a film called Spades, and I'm hoping
that'd be awesome.
I'm hoping we'll get some kind of a thing going next year.
I didn't have to run and scream in that one, but I scream as a cheerleader for him.
and I did a film called Hellfire that I think is getting released next year as well, with Dolph Lundgren, Harvey Keitel. Yeah, so it's kind of a big deal. You know, I wasn't even supposed to be doing much in it, and then things were falling apart, and suddenly my character became more important. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, so
you're
I've got a couple
awesome.
things, and then hopefully we'll have an album for next year. So
Yes, more music, please. I worked a lot this year with conventions and traveling around for the 30th anniversary. So my daughter's graduating next year, so I'm hoping. I know.
hey, she's one of you guys.
What's that?
She's one of you guys now. She's in Tennessee.
I am, y'all. I'm from Tennessee, y'all. I love it here. Yeah, so I'm going to I really want to focus on every moment I have with her, because it's like it's a really weird feeling. It's like very sentimental, but everything feels like this is my last this is my last that with her. So I want to really treasure that. I have a YouTube channel with Nakia Baris called Power Rangers Playback. So we do a lot of stuff for that. I did record a voiceover for a little animated series that hopefully is going to be picked up. So that was cool. What else? Writing, I need to finish because I'm a procrastinator. I have a few things I've written, a couple of children's books and a script that I'm writing, but I'm a procrastinator. So they've taken I've probably been writing them for 5 years already, so let's hope that gets finished. Yes, and then just conventions and being with you beautiful people. So.
Thank you. One last quick question, please.
All right, thank you guys. I know we had the Forever Red, episode.
Yeah.
But what would you guys think of every other color having theirs?
Yes.
Like Forever Black, Forever Pink, or green.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd agree to that
I would.
for sure.
What about
They did it in the
Go ahead.
sort of in the comic. Like
Did
there's
they?
in the comic there's I can't remember what it was called, but it was like but it was my character, much older. Like I think his team was wiped out, and so he was like somehow like trying to like contact all the other Rangers from all the different universes, and then they all kind of came
That's cool.
together. I don't know if
really
it was
cool.
called Forever Black or something. It might have
Yeah.
been, but yeah,
That's
it was
really
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
I think they should do an all-girl reunion.
All girl. Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. Pink and yellow Rangers.
Hmm.
Yep.
But
it's
now they have
all
other colors
Do we?
And
Oh,
red,
we have
and
a red
blue.
female.
and green.
And blue.
Green?
blue?
Yeah.
You're right.
mixed
Yeah, it's
we
like
do.
all, yeah.
Okay. All the girl colors. All of them. Bring them all on. Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone,
guys.
Everybody. Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
Q&A.
Kat's gonna be back over there to sign. I got to go take off and get on a plane. But thank you guys so much. Please go say hi to her. Okay.
Come say hi.
Thank you guys.